all day long as we welcome you back inside of the Michelob Ultra Tennis Channel desk. If you've been watching Tennis Channel this year, you know our new initiative to partner with the Universal Tennis Rating, the UTR. It's revolutionized the way the industry is rating players and comparing matchups. Mark Leschly is the CEO and founder of the UTR. Mark, good to have you back on the show. The response to the UTR has been just enormous from players, from fans, from media. What's going on with the company now as you continue to grow?
Yeah, well, first off, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. We continue to innovate. I mean, I think our goal is to try to bring technology to tennis. And just recently, we announced our partnership with Oracle here, which is very exciting for us. Obviously, Mr. Ellison has been phenomenal as a benefactor for this event. But more broadly, Oracle has been a great supporter of tennis. And they now have launched their Oracle Challenger Series. And we have a broad-based relationship with them now. That's including both challengers as well as events, as well as marketing relationship. And Mark Hurd is a real believer in the game, and Judy Simner, Chief Marketing Officer. We're excited to be with them.
Well, between Larry and Mark, obviously no better technology partner for a technology company to be with. It's across all levels of tennis that the UTR has had an impact. Obviously, we have fun with it on this show and on Tennis Channel with the pros evaluating matchups, but college tennis is so useful for recruiting evaluations, and for amateurs and club players, it's a vital tool.
Yeah, so UTR really started around the collegiate space, and the reason was that college has really changed now in the last 20 years. It's gone from being a domestic sport to an international sport. And as a result of all of that, we really have found ourselves now being able to identify players on a global basis.
Yeah, I know college is used extensively. We use it for our sons, Lane and Brandon. Yeah. And talk about the coaches and how important it is for them for identifying players, because there's thousands of kids out there and thousands of kids in Europe that they're trying to recruit. Why is UTR so important?
Yeah. So what UTR does is because it just looks at how you're competing as opposed to how you're ranked in different geographies. What it allows coaches to do now is to identify players. So whether you're in Croatia or Serbia on the ITF Tour or the USTA, you now have a number, and coaches can compare that number so they can create a recruiting list of players that fit within their potential lineup. And so you can go onto our site and you can look at any collegiate system here in the country. There's over 2,100 men and women, and you can look at exactly what the players are that play in the lineup and the others on the player. And now you can see, hey, where could I possibly play? Where am I eligible to play? And so now the coaches, if you're interested in that particular school, they can vet down the list and you can get recruited. So it's a wonderful system that way.
And then in the pro game, have you started any ventures with some of the pro events? Hint, hint, Miami Open. What you know, what sort of support are you lending to the pro game, and how are you able to partner there?
Yeah. So obviously, with the rolling out of our relationship with Tennis Channel, we're creating an index of what's happening with players. You've been talking about it on air. And so what we recently launched on our website then is we're taking all the matches on a week-by-week basis that are getting teed up in the pro tournaments, and we're putting featured UTR matches on there. We're also putting all the matches and showing the UTRs of the players, and we're taking the top 200 men and women and showing their UTR scoring. And so every week, we're going to be rolling that out. So next week, or a week and a half from now, we're looking forward to go to Miami. The other thing we're doing is we're rolling out our UTR ambassadors, social media ambassadors. And so we have over 350 folks out here that are capturing content and meeting with players. And it's great to see little kids, you know, they're 5.2 UTR, and they're talking to Djokovic, who's a 16 and change or so. And so it's fun. It makes the game relevant for the kids and the fans.
The juniors and the high schoolers as well.
Yeah, we're talking to Mark Leschly, who's the CEO and founder of the UTR. We've been talking a lot about it on the air. If you don't understand it, it's okay, because we don't totally understand the math either. There's an algorithm. Mark, explain, without losing us in the math, what it prioritizes.
Yeah. So today when you play regular tournaments, rankings are done by how far you get in a draw. Essentially, what this allows you to do, the system allows you to do, it looks at the strength of the competition, the opponent, how well and how high is that person ranked. It also looks at the score, so percentage of games won, and then it looks at your last 30 matches over the last 12 months. And so that gives you a number. That's an algo, gives you a number. And it really focuses on what your level of competition is, as opposed to whether you're accumulating points for getting far in a draw.
Now, I hear there's a new partnership with World TeamTennis. That's exciting.
Yeah, so our goal, obviously, with UTR is we want to partner with everybody. We're trying to create a standard, and so we're embracing all partnerships. We spent some time with Lana Kloss and their team there, and of course, what they're doing is completely compatible with what we're doing. It's the idea of creating an interesting, new, revolutionary format for competition. It's the idea of having cross-gender play. And so we're going to help them with their draft. We're going to create an index for the season. We're going to help them with their fan experience, and we're excited to support them.
All right, so strength of schedule is a factor, margin of victory is a factor, last 30 matches are a factor. I don't know how this is going to affect Grigor Dimitrov's UTR, but we have some video from last night. Maybe you can break this down, this serve, and what that's going to do to his UTR. That's going to be a negative impact, I'm guessing, on his UTR.
Ooh, I think others are more qualified to comment.
Have you ever done that, James? The old follow through, lose the grip, and slam it into the ground deal?
It's when you need a new Turner grip there. That one slipped out a little bit. Or the old school Lendl sawdust.
I hear it's the blue grip that does not slip, the Turner grip.
Seems like he could have chased the racket down. The ball came back so slow.
Yeah, I don't think he was that thrilled about that situation at that point. He wasn't thinking. He wasn't. I heard you do that. In Desert Smash, you were chasing it down after getting bruised.
When we played together.
Right back. Grigor doesn't have that fighting spirit of Tracy Austin. Maybe, I don't know.
It's such a good thing for club players. You're not buying into my idea of it being tennis Tinder or a way to.
Well, all joking aside, I think the wonderful thing about if you can create a platform and a standard for how people can understand their level of play, now you open up the doors for people to meet other players. So whether that's across gender or age, and so the idea of saying, hey, how do you get rated? How do you find new people to play with? It opens it up, and we're going to create digital clubs. We're going to create all kinds of new play sessions, and as part of that, for sure, will be social interactions.
There will be swiping left and right on UTR before too long. Mark, thanks for innovating with the sport, because it's been long overdue in tennis, and it's really revolutionized the sport. Mark Leschly from the UTR. We've got live tennis on the way. Kvitova, Anisimova side by side with Isner and Monfils. Back on TC Live in just a moment.